You are watching Arcade Nova.
Here we have the original Nintendo Famicom controller. This thing is pretty swag. Pretty definitive controller. You know, it's like basically the first D-pad ever. Do two button layout. Pretty nice. It's got your select and start. What do you think of this one?
It's a C, but the second controller has a microphone, so it's a B.
Okay, I pretty much agree with that. Yeah, I mean, like
also they're wired to the console, so it has to be less than the NES, which I'm
that
be A.
Yeah, what? No, NES is worse. NES is just the same thing except the fucking.
You can take them out.
No, the fucking. Where's the controller? I think the NES. Okay. We have like a mountain of controllers to fondle, but I think I might have forgot to bring over the NES controller. Oh, there it is. See the NES controller?
Oh, the corners.
Yeah,
are
exactly.
bad.
That's the only difference.
Yeah, the corners
and it's just
are bad.
worse.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It looks like fucking Megatron or something.
It looks like Megatron's mustache.
So I don't know. Should we? Maybe they can be in the same because it's like
but lower. Than the
advantage of the Famicom controller is that it has the microphone and then
No, you're right. This is bad.
Yeah. Whatever. So just B tier for both, or should we put NES and C?
B.
Okay.
No, C, because microphone.
Yeah. And then we have the NES Zapper.
That goes in F. Let's bring it up.
I don't know. I think it looks cool.
Aesthetics is a factor, but
it's also one of the first light guns.
Have you ever played with it?
Yeah.
It's terrible. It doesn't work.
It's fine.
No, it doesn't work.
Whatever. E.
Whatever.
D.
What is gonna be F then? Continue.
D, E. What do you want? I mean,
as low as possible because it doesn't work.
All right, I'm putting in E because it looks cool and it's one of the first light guns.
Sure, it looks cool, and it's Nintendo.
The PC.
It's a Nintendo gun.
Engine. Where did I fucking stop moving the chair? I got it. All right, so this thing is like it's basically just like a Famicom or NES controller, except it's kind of wider. It also has fucking turbo buttons, which is pretty sick.
It's a refrigerator handle.
I think it's cool. It really doesn't innovate that much. I mean, the turbo buttons, this controller pretty much.
This controller is alright. This is definitely better than the NES because it's not as cornery, and it's still.
I personally feel like the wideness of it, for me, is slightly less comfortable. I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's basically the same thing. It looks cool. It's also the controller for the PC Engine, which is cool. And also...
I've never played, but yeah.
It has turbo buttons.
It has bowling pins on it, so...
With that being said, not really much of an innovator. Yeah, you're right. Not much of an innovator. So I'm going to put this either C or D. What do you think?
No, it's better than the NES controller. It gets above C, and it gets above the NES on C.
Alright, whatever, that's
fine. It ekes out the pickle.
The Sega Genesis fucking...
sucks.
It's the fucking 3-button...
It gets a D. It has no select button.
This thing is a piece of fucking garbage.
Yeah, it almost never works.
The buttons are so fucking... Okay, this is like when you're watching like fucking Jimmy Neutron or something, and like they fucking have like
this is on the Kohl's shirt.
Yeah,
the Kohl's game shirt.
It's literally like the most fucking bullshit.
This is what you'd expect. Like
this is what's in like Rocco's Modern Life. And,
yeah, that's a McDonald's toy.
Yeah, it just disgusting. It's just so you can't hit all 3 buttons. You can only use 2 buttons at a time.
Yeah.
So what's the fucking point? The buttons most of the time these are like they get stuck or they just like are bad and you just have to press them really hard.
This is
just like the whole shape of it is just fucking atrocious.
This is McDonald's ballsack.
So what do you think?
Canonically.
What do you think of?
I think this gets an F. This is like among the controllers I've tried, this is like one of the worst ones I've
I mean, honestly, I'm fine with that. That works.
I feel like the Zapper, it's a crime to put the Zapper above the Genesis controller, but
The Pega Genesis. And then you get this motherfucker, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller that I forgot to get out. Where is it? Right here.
the SNES controller is amazing.
This is one of the best controllers of all time. This is one of the most influential controllers of all time.
I like the feeling of the D-pad, and I like the start and select button, but I don't like the feeling of the bumpers and regular buttons for some reason. I don't know, but it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the controller.
I will say, okay, the SNES controllers tend to age poorly. Like the buttons are a little shit, but like it's mostly the layout. Like if you have like one of the SNES mini controllers, like those buttons feel really good. And I'm sure you could have a SNES controller that just like if you could probably like go into the inside of it and clean it up, and it would.
I think it gets an S.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a legendary dog bone.
Doggy. Yeah, I agree. And as we will see, this is like this becomes like the layout of all future controllers. Next up is the
game guy.
Where the fuck did we put it? Oh my god! Oh, here it is. All right, the 6-button Genesis controller. So this one, in my opinion, is a major step up from the 3-button Genesis controller. Just in size and comfort, even just in that alone, the buttons are way smaller, so you can actually fucking reach all of them. And they also obviously added the top 3 buttons, so that works better for like arcade games. So, you know, for like Street Fighter 2, you've got your light, medium, heavy punch, and then your light, medium, heavy kick.
This is Guppy's boner. It like
I don't know what that
it's
means.
really I don't know. It has a mode button,
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that's for. It's only used in like a couple games.
and
I mean, even the 6 buttons are really only used in a couple games.
I like it. This makes it so much better. The D-pad is a lot better.
Yeah, even just playing this for like regular 3-button Genesis games just feels like infinitely better.
The shape is still horrible.
It's not the best, but I'm okay with it. It's fine.
This gets an E.
No.
No?
I guess that would be a step up. Can we at least give it a D?
Okay. Fill out
Yeah.
tears a little bit.
But now here's where
But
we
would
go.
you still like to play with this? I don't think so.
For
But anyway.
Sega Genesis games, yeah.
Okay.
That's
For
like
that,
my favorite
for
controller.
that, for the upgrade, it gets a D.
Yeah.
This is an S.
But then we get to the Sega Saturn controller. Wait, so you think this is an S, but you think the fucking 6-button is a D or is an E?
I think this is an S.
Because this is basically the same thing. I would agree that this is an S.
I think
but
this
it's
is an S
basically the same
because it looks way cooler.
I mean, yeah, it does look way cooler.
The minor shape difference makes a world of difference.
And comfort, too.
And the bumpers
It's like
are
really
sick.
light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the color choice, like just all the design choices, definitely, this thing looks cool as hell.
Pega.
But also, the D-pad feels good. The buttons feel good. I really like how they feel. I could understand why someone would say they have like a very... if they feel like cheap or something.
The Genesis is like a satanic telephone, and this is like more of like an original DS.
It's like a cyber boomerang.
This is like an original DS button feel, right?
Kind of. I feel like the Sega Saturn buttons, this controller is actually a little shittier than my other one. I feel like these have like, the buttons have like a unique clicky clackiness to them.
It has the gamer piss on it, though.
Yeah, well this one does. This one's pretty yellowed out. Yeah. I'm glad you agree that this is an S tier, because I would have had to fight for that otherwise.
It doesn't seem like it looking at it, but when
when
you play with it,
it's also perfectly designed for the games which the console possesses, because it's all arcade games.
Yeah,
So
Street
it's
Fighter
the 6-button
Strike,
layout.
Street Fighter Strike,
all sorts
2,
of fighting games, and Street Fighter 0 to Alpha 2.
is such a good game.
Yep. So this is fucking Kino. This is the Epic Gamer
Street Fighter Strike Force.
controller. What's next? So next up we have the one and only Nintendo 64 controller. Now,
This is a controversial controller.
yes, it certainly is.
Justifiably so. But
You can only use it. You literally cannot access all the buttons at once.
hypothetically, if you had 3 hands, it would be...
Pretty sick,
Yeah.
but nobody does.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how to I have a love-hate relationship with the N64 controller because it's fucking cool and it works. Like, most of the developers used it pretty well, like, in the games that it works for, but it is one of those consoles that it's like one of those controllers that is so tied to the console. I would never ever fucking ask to use the N64 controller with any other library of games.
But when you're playing Mr. Hat, like, you can't play any other...
Glove Boy.
Yeah. Mr. Glove.
Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't want it to be any other way.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm almost willing to put it... We don't have any A tier. Would it be ludicrous to put it in the A tier?
I think it is ludicrous to put it in A tier because I think it's a lot lower than that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Only because it's easy to look at it with so much nostalgia because this is our baby console. But
Yep.
this is honestly like one of the worst controllers Nintendo has ever done. So
I mean,
for many reasons,
this is the first analog. Like, this is like one considered to be like the first analog
and
stick.
new out of the box, it works great, but
These analog sticks are fucking hot garbage.
Terrible.
Yeah, they're some of the worst, but they are. It is the first. I mean,
It hurts your thumb. It wears out super easily. Like this.
Yeah.
This is the one I didn't even. This was my main controller, and it's like completely botched. You couldn't play successfully.
Okay, so what do you think then?
I think it gets a C.
Yeah,
Behind the
I'm cool
NES.
with that. I'm cool with that.
Maybe ahead of the NES.
It's
controller.
whatever. I'm just
Yeah.
putting it in C tier. I'm not like organizing that shit. All right, and then we get to the OG PS1 controller. No dual, no rumble, none of that shit. No analog sticks. Just a shittier SNES controller with an extra set of shoulder buttons.
I feel like it's a better SNES controller.
No, it is not. Literally feel this fucking controller.
I'll feel it. I played Metal Gear on this, and I
Dude,
loved it.
this fucking sucks. Like,
You're right. I
The
think
buttons
it gets a B.
the buttons are shit. Yeah, I'll give it a B. Yeah.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because we have a lot of PS to
Right. There's a
cover.
lot, so yeah, because next up we have the DualShock. We're skipping over there's the one PlayStation controller that's like, there's an in-between that is literally just this PS1 controller with analog sticks that technically is different from the DualShock.
I think this is our first A
But yeah, I would agree. This is
because it gets the level up from the DualShock.
I would almost consider putting this in S, honestly.
I don't
But-
think so.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think it gets.
I
good.
do think-
especially the square one sucks.
I've said this a million times to a million people, but the DualShock 1, DualShock 2, whatever, is perhaps the coolest looking controller of all time, and looks like it's ready to transform into a robot.
Well, let's break it out.
But other than that, I think it is, like, functionally, it's a pretty comfortable controller. It works well for the games, that are on the console. I mean, they've been using this same layout ever since the first PlayStation. I think it's pretty good.
No, we put the PlayStation in B. This is a PlayStation controller with the same shitty buttons, but with analog. So it definitely doesn't get S. And feel how that aged. Like, this is horrible.
That one in particular is really bad.
But no, you can feel the low quality of the buttons. But it gets A. Moving on.
Yeah, that's fine. And then we get this fucking hunk of junk.
It's a hunk of junk. But
So this is the 3D control pad for the Sega Saturn. This was Sega's answer to the N64 and the PlayStation, because Sega the Sega Saturn was like a 2D powerhouse. It did not have an analog stick. This was the first ever analog stick Sega controller, and it's where is this thing? All right, this thing is surely interesting. Don't know if I want to play a fucking video game with it.
I love this controller.
It is pretty bizarre, and it's pretty ballsy that Sega would just release a fucking circle as a controller. Definitely has a unique analog stick. Like, the analog, it's not, like, it doesn't have, like, a...
You know what's weird?
It's like a flat... It's like a nub, kind of. Almost like a pre-circle pad for, like, the 3DS. But it works for Nights into Dreams, which is the game that it was primarily designed for, and basically used for not much else.
So this is obviously going to be really low, because...
It
feels like you're holding a fire detector.
An alarm clock.
This is a hot circle of shit.
Yeah.
It has triggers, which is appreciated, but
This
functionally
looks
not
like
very
fire
good.
Alarm. It's certainly interesting. But
the
I mean,
D-pad is the worst Sega has ever come out with.
The thing is, though, I will say, like, I think it works really well for Nights into Dreams, which is the game that it was designed for.
So with that caveat, it gets a C.
I can give it a C, maybe a D, C. Because honestly, there's not another game that you're gonna fucking play.
You're right. I think it gets a D for Nights into Dreams.
All right, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, okay. So the Namco light gun. Why this is in here? I don't know.
It's in here because of Time Crisis.
And yeah, it's a pretty decent light gun. It's just that we don't have any other relative, like, there's no check of relativity, because the only other light gun we have, if you even want to call it, is, like, we have the NES Zapper.
Which, if we're comparing it to this gets the job done very well. This is a great controller.
It does.
It looks amazing.
It looks sick.
I would carry it around.
Well designed for all the games that it's a part of. What do you think?
I think it gets... Well, for the job it does, it's perfect, so... I really don't know. That's tough. It's literally perfect for what it does. So.
I think there are improvements to the light gun. This is maybe not the best light gun that exists. I'm thinking A.
Yeah, A.
It's yeah.
I love that thing.
So the Sega Dreamcast.
I love this controller for all the little things you could... Like, the N64 tried to add things to their controller.
Dude, this fucking analog stick is literally cum.
But the N64 tried with the Game Boy extension.
Dude, feel this fucking stick, bro.
This is a nice stick. I love this controller.
It's very cool.
Imagine playing Jet Set Radio on this.
I've done it.
It's really cool.
It works pretty well. I don't really know.
This is a great controller. I feel like this has to be higher than the N64.
I mean, just because it's
it does everything the N64 did, but better. It has a better analog stick. It has a better D-pad.
It's like a proto GameCube controller.
It has better triggers. It has better peripherals. That was one of the selling points of the N64, is the Hey You Pikachu and Game Boy extension. This does that, but so much better. You just slide the pickles in there, and you get,
Yep. The floating pickle jar controller.
Yeah. It's just nice.
So, where does that put it?
I think it puts it in A.
I mean, I would personally say B.
When you're playing Soul Calibur and Chibi Nightmare comes up on the screen, it's an A.
Okay, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. And then we get to the arcade. Should we qualify? Like, should we look at this as specifically the Dreamcast arcade stick?
I think this is fight sticks in general, in which case it gets an S.
I mean, I personally would rank this as just a regular, like, the specific controller that it is.
Alright.
And if it's the specific controller that it is, I'll give it an A. It's got, like, pretty good parts. It's just it's just a good fight stick. A good arcade stick.
The thing that makes this cool for me is the screen. It's really cool.
Yeah, this stick in particular, this is the Dreamcast stick, doesn't do anything like especially unique or interesting. It's just kind of a pretty decent arcade stick. So I'm gonna put it in A if that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the Nintendo GameCube controller.
This should have a rank of its own, honestly. It should have an SS rank because I think this is the best analog stick ever.
So something that I pretty much agree with that. This analog stick, the only so there are pretty much I only have two problems with the GameCube controller. I think the button layout is definitely it's interesting, but you can hit Y, A, and X at the same time pretty much. And you can even hit like B and A at the same time, and A and Y, it's pretty versatile. It's like, but the only problem is like with like certain games, it just doesn't. I mean, I guess this was never its intention, but like if you try and play like virtual console games with this, like you try and play Super Mario World with this fucking thing, you have to run with run with Y and jump with B. And that is a fucking nightmare. You literally just can't play Super Mario World with this controller unless you were to remap it.
It was never designed to.
But yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't designed for that. But I'm just saying, like,
let's play Call of Duty with the N64 controller.
You can pick up a PlayStation controller. You could play virtually any game with this and it would work.
Okay.
Like with that button layout.
Let's play a modern game with the SNES controller.
Now, with that being said, I do think this is one of the greatest controllers, like, of all time. I just think, like, and especially, the games that it plays, like,
it's extremely niche for sure. I think it gets an S then.
I'm definitely putting it in S.
For Melee, it's literally designed for it. It's amazing.
Yeah. For the games that it has, it is absolutely incredible. Super Monkey Ball, like F-Zero GX, like these games, I feel like the analog stick in the fucking GameCube controller just has like infinite fucking decimals.
Pickleman?
Yeah, Pickleman works superb. All of these games works fantastically.
RoboChild?
The only
Do you
problem.
remember that?
You mean Chibi Robo?
Yeah.
The only thing. So the other thing about the GameCube controller is that like the controllers, like the buttons and the sticks and everything, tend to age pretty poorly. And like you there's like a whole like the GameCube controllers in particular. Like everyone's always shopping for new GameCube.
There's a
controllers.
black market for GameCube parts.
Yeah, but that actually almost makes it more interesting in a way because there's like a community of like modifying GameCube controllers and stuff, and that exists with other controllers as well. But it's very specifically like it seems to exist with GameCube controllers for like Smash and stuff like that.
Well, that's partly because they like it so much.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right. So here's the thing. Right now we're on to the PlayStation 2. I hope this mountain. I'm just throwing all the control. I guess he's like hoarding all the controllers on his lap. Just a mountain of controllers.
I feel alright.
Here's the thing, right? DualShock 2 versus the DualShock 1. I honestly could not tell you the fucking difference. I really couldn't.
Really? You couldn't? You couldn't tell the difference?
Can you?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
The difference is that this one is green and awesome.
It
says DualShock 2.
Yeah, and this one doesn't say anything on it. As far as I'm aware, there like is virtually no difference. I really don't think there is. Maybe like slightly better build quality or something. I honestly don't know.
Some of these didn't have vibrators in it.
That would not be true, I don't think.
Because
that's why it's called the dual. It's called the Dual Shock, dual analog stick shock for Rumble. That's like a huge feature of the controller.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of.
You're gonna do a lot. I think you could have sexual discovery on both of these controllers, so I think they should be on the same rank.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
And they still fall. They still don't benefit from having the shitty D-pad.
This controller is a piece of fucking garbage. This is literally the fucking the OG Genesis controller on crack. Like, this is his, like, fucking redneck cousin.
I think it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty not good.
I think it gets a B for Brown.
I was gonna say a D. Well, okay.
What's your case for D?
First of all, there are improvements to be had on this controller. Certainly, it is not
That's
comfortable.
true, but
The buttons are not good either. Like it has like this weird fucking. It's not quite like the X layout. It's got like I don't know. It's just I don't know. I'm thinking D because there's a lot of room. There is, as we will see in about 7 seconds. There's room to improve this thing. Boom! Look at that. How much fucking better that is already.
So we can't give this an S because
It's not the Xbox 360 controller.
right.
I'd give it like a B. It's
Well,
pretty good. It's still what?
gets a B.
Yeah. And then we're just gonna take this and we're just gonna put it right up here.
Yeah, it's the best controller ever made.
The only problem with literally any of the controllers in S tier is just the fact that like it's again Xbox 360. Dude, like all my fucking wireless 360 controllers, the battery packs are all fucked. That's like the only the console button.
Okay, it gets
the
an
Xbox
A.
button.
It gets an A then. Put it in A.
Well, no, because
The shape is the best ever made, but
no,
that
I'm
is
still
a-
gonna give it S.
no, that's a horrible problem. Knock it down.
Why?
Because the Pro controller is coming up, and that fixes the problem forever.
I don't know. I think you can have both, and I think it's fine.
No, because
You were so keen on.
no,
I
because
know that you were
I know, but now you just reminded me at how many problems there actually were. Like these controllers, especially in 2005, they didn't work at all.
All right, if you really want to bump it down to A,
Dude, and batteries were shit back then.
'Cause I
Dude,
think-
don't you remember?
I'm mostly talking about design because like I would say the same thing about the SNES controller or the GameCube controllers that like they wear out over time.
No, it's not wearing out. It's just bad technology. They tried to force that wireless thing,
I mean,
but
yeah.
with batteries, it's not even proprietary batteries.
Okay, whatever.
It's batteries you have to buy.
But dude, come on, you can't put this thing in the same dude.
Yes, I can.
A tier for Dreamcast, that's
I
a little
think-
high. It should be probably B, but whatever. Dude, this is literally like Dreamcast controller. Like,
Well, yeah, it's like,
ascended.
dude, it is like but, all right, the shape is the best, but Nintendo. I'm gonna sound like such a Nintendo cuck for this, but they took
Nintendo drone.
yeah, the Pro controller is just a better Xbox S controller. It really is. Seriously.
We'll get there. I mean, I guess we could just whatever. We'll be there soon. All right, the Wiimote and Nunchuck. I really like the Wii Remote and Nunchuck.
I hate the Wii nunchuck. And I think it's horrible.
I think it goes in A, but you probably don't.
I think it might deserve an A for
It's a
being
completely
so intuitive.
yeah, it's a completely unique experience, and there are all sorts of games that are designed entirely for the like Super Mario Galaxy, No More Heroes, there are just infinite games.
Super Mario Galaxy
That's
is,
only two examples.
is like one of the
enough.
worst examples you could have used because
How?
it's such a small facet of the game that
Dude, I would not want to play Super Mario Galaxy with a Switch Pro controller or a GameCube controller or
why to aim your little star.
Dude, there's like the wiggles, there's the waggles, there's all that shit, bro.
No,
it's everything.
no, this is the two moves you do. You aim it shittily because it doesn't work, and
Dude, you can play House of the Dead 2 with this thing. That's
And
fucking sick.
poorly though. The
No.
GunCon does it better.
It's literally the same.
No, the GunCon does it way better. The accuracy is way better.
That is not
No,
true.
it is. Dude, it uses
Light, which is inconsistent.
dude, you have oh my
Okay,
All
whatever.
right.
I'm not gonna argue this.
I think it gets B for bad.
Well,
But it's intuitive, so it deserves not, an F.
I think it's like one of the most unique and interesting controllers ever created.
Alright. Moving on.
I wouldn't put it to S. Certainly.
Your inflection made me think that you were considering it.
No, I would leave it in A. And that's where it's going, bitch. The Wii U gamepad. This thing is
This is cooler
actually
to
boom
me.
right here, B.
This is no, dude. I think this goes. This should. Well, I don't agree with the placement of the nunchuck and Wii controller, but I think the Wii U pad is way cooler.
Wii U pad, dude, you're playing fucking Zelda Wind Waker HD. You got the mini map on the screne, and then you're like you're doing like the hook shot thing. You have like the fucking like the poles where you like hook shot between them, and you pull up the gamepad to like it has like the gyroscope. And
Yeah,
you, like literally like you click the thing. It's like it's amazing.
I think it is amazing.
The
I think
Wii U
it's
gamepad is amazing.
I think it's better. Why are you putting it at B then?
Well, because it works really well for certain games, but other times it's just like a fucking big ass controller.
No, I played Ninja Star demo on that, and I was shooting rabbits or whatever, like with the aimer. Dude, you showed me something. It was really cool. I don't know. And then you can play Mario Bros with all your bros on that too.
Well, what? I mean, it's just everything is just going to be A tier. I mean, I think it's...
No, I think the Wii... No, I think the Wii controller should have been B or C. I think it should have been bad.
This thing's too big. It's too clunky. It's fun and it's comfortable for certain games.
Okay, well, actually...
99% of games don't fucking make use of it. Most games just use the same... Just have the same thing that's on the TV.
I played it once and
screen.
it really impressed me. So you decide. I think it should be above the thing, but it doesn't deserve an S.
Certainly not. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to use this controller with most games. Like certain things it suits really well, but for the most part, it's not comfortable to use like all the time. Next up is the DualShock 4 for the PlayStation 4. Skipped over the PS3 because I don't have a fucking PS3. Who cares? It's just a fucking DualShock 2 again, except it's wireless.
This?
Probably shittier build quality.
It is better than the S controller, though. Because it fixes the problems of batteries yet again.
The 360, you're saying?
No, I just think that the wireless Xbox controller was so problematic that the PS3 actually had a better controller, even though it wasn't a better shape. It was just the playability was so much better.
The PS4 controller, this is one of my favorite controllers.
It's so awesome.
This is one of the controllers that I just want to have forever so that I can use for like PC games. Like this is like one of the controllers that I will continue to use on PC and whatnot. So yeah, I
think it gets S.
I think it deserves S. It's really comfortable.
Do you agree with me now that the 360 controller doesn't deserve S?
Maybe, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's semantic anyway.
Because, listen. This is the controller to play PC games now, and you wish more consoles had it like that. The GameCube controller is the best for Smash ever. Like, not a better controller will ever be made. This is the best for fighting games. The Sega one is the best for fighting games. And then that's the best for like 2D platformers. The SNES controller is the best. So like, if we're talking about best of the best in their own category,
True,
I
that's
think
a good
the
point.
PS4 deserves to be there.
Each of these excels in their own categories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then we get to the Switch Joy-Cons.
Horrible.
Okay, so,
I think they should be an F.
Okay, that's a little tight, dog.
I don't think so. I hate these things. They're so tiny. They're oblong. They're not even symmetrical.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? I do respect the versatility. You can use this single-sided. You can just flip one of them on the side, and all of a sudden you have an NES controller that works or even SNES controller. Like you can play SNES games. You can play like also indie platformers. You can play Mario Kart 8 with this just on its side.
Or you can't play it at all because it doesn't work. It's crapability.
I would put this in C personally.
I think this gets F.
How about D?
No, I really believe that this is like terrible. This analog stick is the worst I've ever used.
Dude, F.
Yeah, F.
Dude, these are some of the
Seriously.
most innovative control. You can do like any.
Innovative? Yeah, people have done controllers before.
Dude.
These are small.
Dude, you can.
These are small. Like, play with this. Play a game with this
I
controller.
beat snipper clips with this controller.
Yeah, snipper clips, bro. I don't think, dude, beat Mega Man with this one, with the
I've
analog stick in the middle. It's
perhaps done that
horrible.
too.
Horrible. You look at this.
It's not. Yeah. Okay.
Like,
this is one. This is one aspect of it. He's talking about the sideways controller.
The play a game with
Singularly, yes. But that is only one option. Playing like this, playing like with the two controllers outward, or you can also put them in the grip, and then you can put them on the Switch, and you can just have the Switch. You can just carry around the Switch, and all of a sudden you just have two controllers that you can play games
this. Or
with.
you could play the Switch Lite.
Which is just a more limited version of the Switch.
I think it's better. I think they fixed the analog sticks, honestly.
I mean, sure, the D-pad, whatever, but they could have done that on this. They could have given this a regular D-pad. How about, okay, E, come on.
Yeah.
I
think-
mean,
Well, good.
really, the only other thing, like, my only other problem, these things, I literally do not play my Switch because my fucking controller, I have Joy-Con gripped. So, like, that's, yeah, I mean, you know, that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair because what is the thing that all of these controllers need to have?
Functionality. They need to work.
Exactly. Thank you.
And yeah, that is certainly a major problem.
And we put the zapper in E tier because it doesn't work. So
and the F, just because that sucks. Alright, so the Switch Pro controller, though. This is clean as fucking hell.
I think that deserved the S over the S controller.
The
because-
only thing I have to say about the Switch Pro controller, it's very comfortable. It's an excellent controller.
It's nice and heavy.
The only gripe I have with it is it doesn't do anything interesting. Like, there's no difference between this.
If doing something interesting is the shitty ass, frying pan Sega controller, then I don't want interesting. I want boring. Thanks.
I mean, I'm fine putting this in S tier, if that's what you want to do.
I mean, it could get high A still,
or even
but
an A tier. Yeah.
I think it gets the edge over the Xbox 360 controller.
Like, I personally, I don't know. It's basically just a better functioning 360 controller.
Mm-hmm. It has way better D-pad.
Yeah, better D-pad, better
buttons.
pretty much.
It has the same shape, which is.
But I
really
do
good.
like I prefer the 360 controller because it's cooler. Maybe
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, there you fucking go. There's our fucking shitty tier list. Bitch in the comments about how you disagree, and yeah. Okay. Any other closing thoughts?
I think we did good. I think you could argue some points.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty decent. All right. Catch you later. Bye. Go watch other videos.